Hello, everybody, and welcome to this presentation of the ECL Elite Division right here on Sports Gamer. My name is Tukey, joined as always by my broadcast partner, Mr. Sim, for the win. And Sim, today we continue on with our final week of coverage here in the regular season. It is week 6, as hard as that is to believe, and we continue on down our path with two more rather interesting matchups. We kick things off today with, as everyone can see on the screen, ZSC Esports and Frölunda. And of course, a little bit later on, a very important matchup that we have in terms of what could help decide those relegation spots. It is the Falun Coal Miners against Stargazing.
Yeah, as we always say, at any point in the season, there is always something to play for. And anywhere you find yourself in the standings, there is still always something to play for here. And with these two teams as well, I mean, especially, ZSC maybe not going to be able to fight their way into a playoff berth, but, they want to stay above that line as we talked about. And I think you said it best, Falun Coal Miners and Stargazing, those are huge, huge implications about who's going to find themselves in those relegation positions.
And you see the other two matchups, of course, going on off broadcast. HV71 taking on Sabo Esports and YMCA Esports against Roots Gaming. And we'll try to keep you updated on all of those scores as the day continues along. Let's get you all a look here at the current standings entering play today. As, of course, our 30-game regular season, oh so close to wrapping up for each and every one of these teams, anywhere between 24 games played. And, of course, some teams sit already at that 30 games completed mark, including H-Reds, who have already secured that number 1 seed yet again.
Yeah, and I mean, they've had yet another incredible season, and here Frölunda are, probably going to get that second seed here, unless something kind of drastic happens and ZSC does what they joked about and go 4 for 4 in the last 4 games of their season and somehow squeeze their way into the playoffs here. But yeah, I mean, what you're seeing for the most part, at least within the top 3, is likely what you're going to get here. But that being said, I mean, Erebro can still make kind of a run. Roots, good to see them really kind of solidifying their playoff berthing. And it's just getting really interesting here down the stretch, no matter where you are. But that right-hand side of the bracket, so many teams that can find themselves in relegation spots still.
Absolutely. Outside of Färjestad and ZSC, nobody else within striking distance of the playoffs. And we've talked about it all season long. 13, 14, and 15. Dangerous spots to be in. You do have to fight for your survival with a Pro Division team. And, of course, 16th automatically relegated. We are still waiting to see what is going to happen with IQ through their last 4 games. Again, a playoff team last year. It's been a disastrous season for them. Looking to get back ahead of the likes of Stargazing, who, of course, were promoted to this Elite Division for the first time this season. So again, so much to play for each and every one of these teams. The top 8 make the playoffs, but of course, there is so much to play for up and down the lineup. So very intrigued to see how that plays out. And of course, aside from being on broadcast, sportsgamer.gg for all the information that you need to follow along with the Elite Division. But we turn our attention to the action that'll kick things off today. It is, again, ZSC Esports taking on Frölunda. And, of course, when we saw Frölunda in action on yesterday's broadcast, only for a game, of course, it was supposed to be the 2 games set against H-Reds. There was a, according to some, controversial walkover/forfeit victory in game 1 that was in Frölunda's favor. H-Reds winning in overtime 3-2 in that second game. I think we're going to see a rather motivated Frölunda team today. It could make for a tough day at the office for ZSC.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of been a while since they found themselves in a situation really where they're like almost viewed as not quite a villain, but just not exactly as prestige as they once were here. I definitely think that you're completely right with the sort of motivation they have. They lost in the finals 2 years in a row, which something they're also not used to. So definitely, I think they're going to come out swinging here, not holding any punches, and prove to kind of themselves and mostly just all the naysayers out there that they could just win games and take their spot near that top of the mountain and fight to try to take that championship back.
So with that, let's get a look at the lineup for this particular matchup. Again, for ZSC, pretty much the 6 that you would expect. At least seems to be their go-to lineup. Of course, Kermit on that left-hand side with Snus down the middle, and I dangled you out on the right-hand side. Tony and Haldium on defense, Chich in goal. Whereas on the other side, Well, again, the six you would expect to see for Frölunda. Playmaker, Eki and Flyer Kungen, Potzloff and Loimo on defense, and Kappa in goal. We'll start off as we always do with that center comparison. Eki against the captain of ZSC in Original Snus, who has had a pretty strong season. But obviously, on the other side, Sin, you're talking about one of the best players in the world, whether in a 1v1 or 6v6 scenario with Eki.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Eki is, kind of becoming one of the top centers, even though it's his really first season playing center. The point totals are there. The face-off percentage is solid. And we know how strong his two-way game is, from watching him play wing and then him shifting over to center to have more of a chance to even let that two-way game shine. And of course, the net front presence that he brings to the table, always so dangerous. And on the side of Snusa, he has had a solid season. I'm sure he'd have liked to see his production get up a bit more. And when you look at the wingers and what they've been able to put up on his team, I think that, he would agree. He would like a bit more production out of himself. And that could be that extra step needed that will push ZSC into the playoffs in the coming seasons.
We'll move over to the winger comparison next. Again, Kermit and dangled you out for ZSC. You have Playmaker and Flyer Kungen on the other side. And, again, similar story. Very, very solid numbers for ZSC. Again, it's a step, a bit of a step ahead for Frölunda. But in terms of the gun show here, I think one side clearly wins.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the side of ZSC. They spent all that time in the gym trying to work themselves out, and hasn't quite shown up yet on the ECL ice, but I'm sure it will at some point. But yeah, of course, jokes aside, solid production from the wingers. This is what I was kind of alluding to with both Kermit and I Dingled You Out putting up the kind of numbers that they've been putting up. I mean, I Dingled You Out has even played 2 less games, but sitting there with 38 points. Clearly, very much near elite talent on those wings for this squad, and they just need to figure out a way to kind of get all the other working pieces in order. But I mean, you look to Flyer Kungen and Playmaker there, and it's just above and beyond with the production totals. 31 goals, over a goal per game out of Playmaker, near goal per game from Flyer Kungen here. It's just the incredible production all the way across for Frölunda.
Defensively, of course, as well. You already saw for ZSC, it is Tony and Haldim. On the other side, again, Potzloff and Loimu. Physical play from ZSC. We expect to see it again today. And of course, in the big story this season for Frölunda has been Potzloff dropping back on defense to make room for Flyer Kungen as a part of that front three. Hasn't stopped him from putting up points, though.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I mean, oftentimes, the kind of the physical play can lead to a few more points if you create that turnover and able to get that up ice pass as well. And we know how much Tony and Haldim both like to kind of get involved in the offense. We've seen Haldim a lot of times jumping into play pretty neatly. And then, of course, Tony's got that wicked shot from the point here. And, their opponents on the flip side, yet sure, they have a bit more production here and there, but also a lot more experience here in the elite division and a lot more, experience playing in those high profile games. Potzloff sliding back to defense, not looking out of place whatsoever. In fact, he's looked, pretty comfortable back there, over a point per game on the back end. And of course, Loimu kind of been the anchor back there for Frölunda for years.
And of course, our last head-to-head, the battle of the goaltenders, as it is Chich against Kape. And again, Chich, for the numbers maybe not quite where he would want them to be. Again, hasn't been the full-time starter, as ESC been able to kind of rotate a little bit, whereas Kape is the guy, certainly, for Frölunda. And again, very, very solid numbers.
Absolutely. And we kind of looked at Kape as sort of the standard for so long amongst goaltenders. There's a lot of other, I guess challengers joining him, but he's always putting up that, over 80% save percentage, always kind of locking it down, was always good for a few shutouts. And we know he ratchets up that game come the playoffs here. And when it comes to Chich, the number's not quite where he wants. Solid goals against, but we've seen him kind of, have some of these great games, but other times, a little bit of inconsistency that creeps in. I think, if he cleans that up again, this team could definitely be taking that extra step.
So with that, we are just a few moments away here from the final 2 games of the regular season for Frölunda, as they'll hit that 30-game mark. For ZSC, well, they have games coming up on Thursday against Conquer Gaming to round out their season. So again, for Frölunda, looking to secure that 2 seed over the likes of Sawa Esports, and again, ZSC trying so mightily to find their way into the playoffs for the very first time. But Sin, at the very least, I mean, you got to look at it as it's likely another successful season for them in terms of finding that, solidifying spot in this division. Not safe in the slightest, but 2 points up on Yippee Voskala, 4 points up on the Fallon Coal Miners. They're in about as good of a spot as I think they could have hoped for this season, even if they do have those playoff aspirations. So, you
Yeah.
mentioned it, like they joked on Twitter about like, oh yeah, hey, we're gonna take 4 out of 4. They're at least, it's understanding their situation, but at the same time, I don't think they're lacking confidence.
No, absolutely not. And, by being, joining the elite division and now, as we've mentioned, staying in it for so long, they know that they can compete here. They're just, looking for that next extra step. And we've seen teams take a while to do that. I mean, think about how many times Roots has finished just on the outside looking in. And right now they're sitting in that 6th seed spot. I mean, you just kind of keep pushing, and what the first step or the second step of in the elite division is being able to stay here, and ZSC has done that year in year out. I think maybe the first season they joined here, they may have had a relegation battle, but after that, I think they've stayed in pretty cleanly on their own volition. So they keep improving here in the elite division. I definitely think a playoff berth is in their very near future.
In terms of the lineup there as well, you would have seen it. The extra playmaker for ZSC, normally again just the center, and then puck moving defenseman across the board. Dangled you out, rocking a playmaker as well.
No power
Very
forward, huh?
intrigued. Yeah, no power forward this time. I saw a playmaker. It was very, very surprising. A reminder, you see on your screen, of course, what these teams are playing for. Of course, H-Red's already walked away with that 6K euro prize for winning our winter season. They're looking to do the same for our spring season. And again, if they do, they are crowned grand champions without contest and get that extra 10K. If another team wins that spring season, well, then there will be a grand final. And again, Sin and I will be there this June, about a month from now, to cover all of that live and in person. You saw it there late as well. Again, we still want to see the best and worst that NHL 22 has had to offer you on Twitter and Instagram. Share your clips and use the hashtag eHockeyMoments for your opportunity to win some IQ fuel. We are still giving away a winning prize package every single week until the end of June. But for now, the action is underway. It is Frölunda in their home red, and break out the bandages. Or some ice. Maybe both. That was a heck of a hit to kick things off. The ZSC in their road whites here. Tony able to feed that one up to Snus, nowhere to go. And Sin, that's what I'm going to be very intrigued by. We saw it in just that one game. A real back and forth battle between Frölunda and H-Reds in terms of patrolling the blue line and making it so difficult for the other team to gain zone entries. How can ZSC manage to deal with that when it was so difficult for the top team in H-Reds to find their way through sometimes?
Yeah, I always kind of think of it as you got to continue to throw different looks at people, just like you would in the offensive zone. You got to try to spread them out by throwing, either pucks up high or down low. And right there, that's exactly what I was going to kind of mention. Try some dump and chases, cross corner. That one didn't quite work out, but if you force those defensemen to not be able to stand on that line, stand a bit further back, as we see a shot coming in right there, then, I mean, you can be able to gain that line with a bit more efficiency if you get them more used to different looks.
They do gain the line. Snus goes for that low shot. Wanted the rebound for Kermit, just out of his reach. Again, an interesting look there. We did see Kappa, perhaps unfortunately so, get beat on the short side. And there's another dump and chase. This went over to Potzloff's side of the ice. Dangled you out. Strong forecheck. We always expect him to bring, but Frölunda able to hold on to it here for the moment.
Yeah, definitely physical presence that I dangled you out likes to use. You can see it right there on the forecheck. Loves to use the body, and right there, great stick work to keep that puck alive momentarily, but Loimu able to pick that up on the boards.
Liking that forechecking pressure, though. CSC able to recover here in their own zone. Haldane, nice drop pass. Already halfway through this first period. What a pace. Nowhere for Snus to go. Perhaps opens up room for the counterattack down the other way. Playmaker still has it. The backhand on, and it sneaks in! A rather unfortunate way to start this game for ZSC. It is Potzloff who's going to get the opening goal in this one. 1-0 for Frölunda.
Yeah, we've seen a few of these over the past couple broadcasts. It happened to Kappa a bit yesterday, and that is just unfortunate. Chich's position was on point, but the puck somehow finds a way to squeak through, and Potzloff will take it. I'm sure he wasn't quite expecting that one to find the back of the net, but find the back of the net it did, and Frölunda jumps out to a 1-0 lead here in the first.
Heartbreaking start again. You mentioned it. We have seen that a few times. I think perhaps more than any other games, and the idea of just throwing the puck on net because you never know what's going to happen. Again, perhaps as relevant as it's ever been in the competitive setting. What a feed there up to Playmaker now. His pass, though, a little bit off the mark, and Frölunda will be forced to reset. See what they can do. Looking to add to that lead. Again, Potzloff, the opening goal on that backhand. His 7th goal of the season. He has the puck here once more. Step up pressure doesn't pay off. There's the pass over to Playmaker. Head of steam. In looking to cut back. Goes around the back of the net to Eki. Good movement there. Flyer Kunga for Eki. Back again. They score. But contact with the goaltender from Playmaker. We'll see this one waved off. That was a phenomenal play, though.
Yeah, you can see right before the camera shifted there, Playmaker was in the crease, so it must have been some contact there. That was a beautiful passing play. Love the give and go between Eki and Flyer Kungen, but yes, indeed, the goal is called off, and neutral zone face-off, so Frölunda will have to re-enter that zone and try again.
That's for Playmaker there. Unfortunate moment. Again, a reminder, though, you can see he is wearing the golden helmet for his team. He just dangled you out, signifying team-leading scorers. Keep an eye out on, and that's why Playmaker again nearly facilitating that play and that extra goal that they're looking for as Chich is able to cover this one, but still can't get over what was a really difficult goal to see going against CSC after a decent start to this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And, they're having to, get in an uphill battle because of that. You can definitely see they're not really seeming too rattled out there, still trying to compete on an even footing with Frölunda. And that's definitely something that you'd want to see. I think perhaps in the past, you'd kind of see them go down to a tough team like this and maybe try a bit too hard in some ways. But they're really just, trying to play the same game that they started with.
Pass over to Playmaker. Again, goes down low. Flyer Kung, he wanted Loimu of all people in front. The defender was there. The final 7 seconds, Eki comes that one in. Haldim has it. Risky move there as he didn't clear, but Frölunda will run out of time. 1-0 for the home side here in this one, again off of this opening goal from Potzloff.
Yeah, just a backhand that finds its way in. There's really nothing too much to say about that, but the last kind of couple passing plays that Frölunda have tried to pull off, especially that last one where they went back to the middle to Loimu as he was cutting into the net. It was an excellent, it was such a well-timed poke for Haldim to break that one up, and that's kind of what ZSC has been doing a little bit, and why you're seeing Frölunda have to make so many good creative passing plays is that ZSC is kind of guarding against those first and sometimes even second high-scoring looks that Frölunda can generate, so they're having to get a bit more creative with their passes. And we know in this game, if sometimes if you overpass, not necessarily always the best thing that you can do for yourself. So I like that defensive strategy from ZSC. It could have been good enough to have this scoreless period, but as we saw, a bit of an unfortunate bounce as Chich allowed that backhand to kind of get past him right there. Again, really no fault of his own. Great positioning here, but I think in this period, ZSC going to have to find a way to get a bit more offensive zone time. They know they're not going to be able to, shut Frölunda down completely in any way. They're just too good, but they're going to have to look for their chances and be able to take them and find ways to capitalize on them.
There we go. Second period underway in ECL Elite Division action. Brought to you by our friends at Wilhelm, Copeland Lockertsy, and ST Hockey. The Wilhelm e-hockey tour still going on as well. Again, sportsgamer.gg for all the information you need on that. And this is our first game of 2 today between ZSC and Frölunda. A little bit later on, Fallon Coal Miners taking on Stargazer. A rather important matchup in the sake of the relegation battle as ZSC continue that incredibly physical play. Eki weaving his way through, throws a pass on goal. And Chich ends up making the save. Dangerous moments still around the ZSC net.
Yeah, absolutely. And Frölunda's going to keep trying to get back there. I mean, those passing plays, we know they got the skill for it. We saw it earlier with that disallowed goal here. And good face-off win coming out from Original Snus. Now they got to clear this puck.
Dangled you out. Drop pass for Kermit. His shot save and nearly swept in his own goal. But Agape was there to stop the attempt, even if it was a bit of friendly fire.
A really nice zone entry right there. Like that. Dangled you out, took the speed wide, then did the drop pass. And we saw the shot on Kermit looking for the rebound and just a little bit behind dangled you out right there, or else they could have had their the tying goal.
Playmaker. Able to find Flyer Kungen in stride. They're still battling for the puck. Scramble forward along the wall. Who's going to come up with it? The answer is ZSC. Kermit can't hold on to that one. A bit too much traffic. Man down for ZSC is going to go out just back to his feet. A good poke check there at the blue line. Potslavs feeds off the mark, but Playmaker going to catch the defender in transition. Loose puck. Flyer Kungen can't get that shot on goal, and you see that pass off the mark. Foot race for it. Cancels out the icing. Tony now. Miscommunication. Snuss still has it. Shot on. Blocker stop. Potslavs good interception. He's having trouble though with that double team pressure. Loose puck still. Solid pass there to get it out of danger. A step up. He missed. Playmaker can't get it into the zone. In an onside scenario. Still set a very strong start for ZSC in this one. It's just that first goal, man.
Yeah, they're just looking for that first goal, and that is what can be so tough. They're doing such a solid job of being able to limit the high danger chances of Frölunda here, but you know they're finding out just how hard it can be to score against them as well. I mean, it's just so difficult, and that's the problem when you play a top team like Frölunda. If you focus too much on one thing, or you let yourself, you know, get caught defending a bit too much, then all of a sudden you find yourself without chances. But they are getting a few chances here and there. You feel like a breakthrough could come, but once you get that breakthrough, then you still have to beat Kape and net. It's just such a raw deal to have to play this team.
We'll see again, looking for a different way to break into the attacking zone. It did bank off the leg of a defender, and it's Frölunda over the line. Potslavs just trying to drive to the net. Out back for Tony. Can they make the set of passes? It's Kermit here. Just not able to hold on to it. Another big stretch pass here for Frölunda. Self-sauce from Flyer Kungen. Pokes it down low. Aldeem able to recover now. Numbers perhaps the other way. Tony for Snuss. Somehow they're onside. Snuss still has it. Shot glove save by Kape. This one held in by Tony. Great work there. Dangled you out. Back for Kermit. Banked it off the goaltender. The behind the back pass. Continuing to try different things here. 4.5 minutes to go in the second. Playmaker takes the hit. Yeah, fight for the puck in the corner. Kermit loses it to Eki. Knocked away one more time. Playmaker can't hold on to it. Good poke to keep it alive. Flyer Kungen across for Eki. Aldeem there. To interrupt it. There's the quick out. Dangled you out here. Tries to go between the legs. No short side. Saved by Kape. Puck again thrown in front. Still bouncing around. Tony's shot again stopped by Kape as they are continuing to throw shots on goal. Space now down the other way though. Playmaker short side. And it looked like Chich got a piece of that one as we hit the final minute of play.
Yeah, maybe that, or maybe hit the post a bit as well after he did get a piece of it, but Frölunda trying again.
His pass doesn't go through. Eki there to help him out. Final 6 seconds. Dangled you out. For Snuss. Stretch pass for Kermit. Holds on the backhand. Shot to the far side. Doesn't go as time expires. And what has been a rather close game, but it will still be a 1-0 lead for Frölunda heading into the third period.
Absolutely, especially down the stretch right there. ZSC were able to kind of open the game up a little bit, so to speak, and be able to kind of get behind Frölunda with a bit of consistency there, and that's exactly what they needed. As they started to get the possession a bit more, they kind of read that situation and realized, okay, now's the time where we could try to get some people behind the defense of Frölunda. They kept getting the puck back, and it was working out for them, and they got some good chances. I had a couple that Kape turned aside that were, you know, pretty darn good chances. Some close calls with passes out front too. They continue to get creative and continue to look for ways to be able to beat the defense of Frölunda and of course their goaltender Kape. But yeah, you look at that play, that's just as unfortunate as it gets for Chich. Again, the positioning is right on point, slightly ahead of that post, you know, cutting off the angle, and unfortunately the most unluckiest of unlucky bounces seeming to go Chich's way there, and that's where we leave us. It's a one goal game. one more period to play, and with the way ZSC has been playing, I mean, they're looking pretty good here. It's kind of on Frölunda now to have a response and limit some of the pressure that ZSC has been able to put on.
Playmaker, that one across at the start of the third period. Argue a bit of a fluky goal is the decider at the moment. And then Frölunda, textbook from them. It's Eki in front, 2-0. And all of a sudden, I think the argument for ZSC with that backhand goal goes out the window.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just, as you said, textbook play coming out from Frölunda there. A bit of a down-low cycle right there. Pass out front from Playmaker. He's so good with the puck. Just understands the mechanics of the way his skater works, and he just uses them in incredible ways. You saw that little kind of a shimmies behind the net, and is able to kick that out front, and Eki finishes it off, and 2-0 for Frölunda, and here they come again.
Playmaker, one-timer for Potzloff. Good attempts. Let's see how ZSC respond here. They needed a goal anyway. Now they certainly need one, and the sooner the better. Aldine. Back down low for Kermit. Can't find a teammate on that pass. Eki tried to find Playmaker and just interrupted as he was trying to cross that blue line.
Yeah, the defensive sticks of ZSC have been there, but at this point, yeah, they need to be able to find that offense. They're doing a good job limiting Frölunda. Obviously, can't completely shut them down, but they've just been unable to find that goal.
Off the post, Eki again, that second chance. Couldn't shovel that one home. Frölunda definitely looking like they're picking up momentum here in the early stages of this third period. Kermit nowhere to go, but a penalty is called. Going to be interference, and I think he hit two players at once.
Yep.
He did. There it is.
The old 2-for-1 special for Loimo. I was like, it didn't look like a charge to me, so I was a bit confused. But yeah, there you have it. Hitting two players for the price of one. And ZSC will have a power play. This is about as much score of an opportunity as we've seen so far for them. We'll see what they do here.
This power play for ZSC. It's the bottom half of the league, only 14th against the surprisingly low, tied for 9th ranked PK of Frölunda.
It hasn't been as strong as it has been in previous years, but they're doing a great job right here. Again, once you lose that blue line, it can be so tough, and against a team like Frölunda, well, we're seeing just how tough it is, even with 4 men out there patrolling it.
The drop pass at the blue line. Haldane able to hold this one in. Kermit wanted to go back to Dangle out. Goes back to Haldane at the point. D to D. Good save by Kape. 10 seconds to go on the man advantage. And the puck cleared by Potzloff. So it will be a successful kill for Frölunda. They keep that 2-0 lead intact for the moment. Tony for Snus. Can't hold on to it. Flyer Kungan for Playmaker. Recovers the puck and scores! Then I don't know if that was a pass or a shot, but it doesn't matter. It looked intentional regardless. 3-0 Frölunda.
I mean, it absolutely looked intentional. That is absolutely filthy coming out from Playmaker right there. Just kind of, yeah, it was a pass, but because of the angle, I think it hit the foot or the leg of Chich and just kind of goes in. So, I mean, maybe looking to pass and getting rewarded with a goal, but the way we initially saw it, it really looked like he just kind of slid that puck under the legs of Chich. Nonetheless, results the same, 3-0 for Frölunda here, and the situation has become dire for ZSC.
Might get worse. Here's Loimu. Tried to go between the legs. Chich forced to make another stop. Really is unfortunate, though, for ZSC. Again, such a strong start in this game. And second goal for Frölunda, you certainly can't argue. Those, the first and third, maybe some luck involved, but at the end of the day, ZSC, if you can't get a goal here, doesn't make too much of a difference.
Yeah, and you find the teams who are getting lucky more often than not are getting those pucks to those higher percentage scoring areas. So, a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill, and, well, they're on top 3-0.
That one sent in front. Playmaker backhand off the back of the cage. Again, ZSC looking to get things going here. Eki trying to hold on to that one. Loimu double team pressure. Eki there to assist one more time. Playmaker tried to go across. Tony's there. Eki shovels one on and forces the save with under 5 minutes to go here in the third period.
Yeah, and in this third period, we're seeing the Frölunda Siege continue to pick up power here, and ZSC just at this point even struggling to get out of their zone here. But there's another jump from Eki. We've seen, I think that's about 3 of them in the last couple matchups here. I don't know if it's a controller issue or just a little bit of nerves and a little bit of too much playing with, as we know, GWC as well going on.
The final 3.5 minutes here. Frölunda again looking to secure that 2 seed here in their final 2 games of the season. Barring a drastic turn of events, there will be 2 more points to the cause. Good save by Kape there. Late in this one. Loimu working with Flyer Kungan to at least get that one out of the zone. Final minute of play here in regulation. His pass to dangled you out doesn't go. Eki still has it. Playmaker wanted that pass to Flyer Kungan, just interrupted.
Yeah, Haldim was just all over him with the stick, and Haldim has had a tremendous defensive game, kind of obviously overshadowed by the way it's gone on the scoreboard, but Haldim and Tony back there have really done their part in trying to limit some of these opportunities, whether they be zone entries or passes from behind the net, passes across the crease. They've just done such a good job of being able to stop so many of those.
Good block by Flyer Kungan. Here's Snus, wanted to find dangled you out. Loose puck, Kape able to kick that one out. That's the problem. You get these great chances, and then you have to face the most prolific goaltender the Elite Division's ever seen. Cool, calm, and collected as always. That's shot on, and another save. This time forced to cover.
Yeah, this time opts not to throw it out right there. He's trying to speed up the game, but had to make another save. So does a smart thing right there and just gets a face-off for his team with 16.1 left. ZSC just looking to spoil it at this point.
Off the draw, ZSC the win. Snus' shot gets blocked. Here goes Flyer Kungan, 1 man to beat. Drops off for Playmaker. Tried to find Eki, broken up. 1 more chance here. In the final moments, Haldim has it, throws a sauce wide. And that will do it. Frölunda starting off the action here tonight. In strong fashion, a 3-0 victory. And Sin, I mean, when you talk about Kape at this stage of a season, you always got to mention the shutouts. That's number 6 on the year.
Yeah, and again, not as it's kind of crazy to say you get 6 shutouts in a 30-game season. That's impressive enough, but you know we've seen him put up 12, so it's like, oh come on, Kape, what? A little bit of an off year for you, huh? But yeah, no, and another excellent performance from him. That was far from a give me. We saw it in that second period, especially ZSC were really kind of peppering him with shots and shots from pretty different locations. Saw a couple one-timers, couple nice wristers testing the short side out, but he was true to the task and made every single one of those saves. And Frölunda picking up a big couple points right here to pretty much at this point, I think, really kind of solidified themselves in that 2 seed spot. I'm not too sure if Sawa can really catch them out at this point here. But again, good effort from ZSC, all things considered. It's just, at the end of the day, I mean, you look at the numbers, 12 shots apiece, very similar time in attack. They just, obviously couldn't find a way to capitalize. And at the end of the day, that's what we always talk about all the time in attack, and shots don't matter if you're not getting, that puck in the back of the net right there. So shout out from Kape. Again, this game could have, easily been 1-0, 2-0, but a little bit of a fortune for Frölunda, as well as the high quality of skill, and even right there hits off the foot of the defender to go to Eki. That pass looked like it was headed toward Flyer Kungan, who could have still snuck that one through. But yeah, but again, you get those pucks into those kind of areas, and you go throw the passes towards those high percentage areas, good things can happen, whether it be they get through or the puck bounces right here. And yeah, it's just, I'm looking at this, and it really does seem like he just tried to slide that one through, but it does look like a pass animation. I wonder if he'll confirm that for us after cast or anything like that. But solid performance out of Frölunda, another 2 points in the books, and for ZSC, they're going to, try to find a way to respond here and perhaps pick up at least a point in this second game.
Absolutely. Second game coming up in just a few moments as well. We'll throw it to a brief word from our sponsors and be right back to set the stage for game. All All right, everybody, we are back. And again, a big thank you for sticking with us here. A big thank you to Wilhelm, SD Hockey, and Kovan Lakritzi, of course, as always. Sent a strong performance for ZSC Esports in that first game. Unfortunately, it doesn't really show up on the scoreboard as it wasn't getting a 3-0 win for Frölunda. Not sure if we have it updated. When we do, we'll throw it over, of course, to the standings and how things look at the moment. But all things considered, and again, you want to see that strong effort from ZSC, even if they're not getting the results at this stage. It does show that the continued improvement from that
Yeah.
lineup. As we do get a look here, as you see now, Frölunda up to 47 points, and that does officially secure them the second seed heading into the playoffs. Sabo, of course, can only finish with a maximum of 46 points. So job done already if you're Frölunda heading into the final game of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. They kind of, done what they needed to do. And, kind of touching on what you had said before about, strong performance from ZSC. And while, at the end of the day, that will likely be overlooked as, you just see the stats and the standings for what they are, who's not going to forget that is a team like ZSC. They realize some of the good stuff that they were able to do in that, despite not being able to capitalize. They're going to not only carry that into this next game here, but try to remember that for the future as well, and things that worked, things that didn't, and the effort that they're able to put in, especially on the defensive end, to really limit Frölunda and be able to push the puck back into the zone of Frölunda and test Kape in ways that they can. Any other day, perhaps they're the ones getting the bounces, and if they're able to generate the chances they had and get some of those bounces, then definitely could see them picking up a couple points in that game.
Absolutely. So the team's already matched up and loading in. Again, as we mentioned before, though, the Wilhelm e-hockey tour, of course, stops every single weekend throughout Finland. Make sure to go to sportsgamer.gg for all the information that you need there. Sin, very intrigued to see what we're going to see out of ZSC in this one. They do have the home ice advantage this time out in the home blues. We'll see if that gives them that little bit of an extra boost that they need to try and get what is now a very important result for them. Playmaker denied. Chich had just started to move as well. Slightly changed the timing on that. It would have been 1-0 early. Again, for Frölunda, this game just kind of a formality at this stage. Do what you got to do to finish up the season. Whereas for ZSC, they still have very valuable points on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're going to see a little bit more of that desperation cranking out here. And, it was a good save by Chich earlier on. They definitely don't want to go down early in this one. If anything, they want to be the ones that get the first goal. You're seeing them coming up with the aggressive face-off set early on here.
You see in the attacking zone, Haldeem. Here, one timer from the sharp angle for Kermit. Shot denied. He gets it back. Wanted the wraparound. Just held off. Big sauce pass. Playmaker is through. Flying poke check takes it away. Great reaction time by Chich. Wasn't going to sit back and wait for Playmaker to be able to make the move he wanted to make. Shot on by Snus. Denied by Kape. Battling in the corner there. Kermit trying to hold on to it. Still fighting with Loimu. Picked off. Back to Tony. That shot. Redirects off of a man in front. Frölunda denied in the neutral zone. So big saves from both goaltenders here in the first couple of minutes.
Absolutely. And you can feel the urgency of ZSC in their forecheck, especially right now. They want this first goal.
Haldeem for Snus. The captain goes around the back. Kermit takes the hit. Dangled you out, lofts one through. Goes all the way out the other side. Great job again by Eki on the back pressure. Sin, it's an award that we don't have because obviously it's tough to quantify. But if we did have an award for best defensive forward, needless to say, Eki would at the bare minimum be a finalist season in and season out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's just so good on both sides of the puck.
Snow's backhand on. Stopped by Kappa again. Rosecki likes to run the 34 for Austin Matthews. Might have suggest adding 3 be more appropriate based off of his two-way play. Great Patrice Bergeron is. Superior player, too, dare I say. Paul Deem. Oh, is this one around the back of the net? It ramped up, like rolled along the pipe, along the side of the cage, forcing Kappa to cover.
Yeah, and seen a bit of bumps after the whistle as well. Both these guys having fun as well. I don't think there's anyone out there who dislikes anyone on ZSC, or rivalries or anything like that.
I am sure someone will be happy to prove you wrong and say, screw those guys, but let us know.
Yeah.
I'd be intrigued. And let's be honest, if you do, you're not saying it to Dangle Duout's face.
Yeah, absolutely.
We see the gun show every pregame. There's a good save there by Chich. Here goes Kermit. He'll dump it all the way around. There is Dangle Duout. Pass intercepted again by Eki. We have the final 5 minutes of this first period, but an offside call just before that. Playmaker not able to get that in stride.
Absolutely, and what I like about this so far is for ZSC, they're able to get some chances, but what we're not seeing is Frölunda get any sort of dominant zone time quite yet, and that's always a good thing. If you're able to not let Frölunda looking like, you know, a dominant team or the clear better team, unfortunately for Dangle out there, gets a little careless with the stick, trips someone up, so we're going to see that Frölunda power play go to work, so perhaps spoke a bit too soon. We may see a whole chunk of zone time coming out from Frölunda here, so big kill opportunity for ZSC on the table here. They don't have a great penalty kill throughout this year. I believe it's actually dead last, so dangerous look for them, but they got to kill this one off for sure. They do not want to go down early.
One that entered play today, tied for 5th in terms of power play percentage at 25%. That one just deflects, but held in. Loimu has it poked away. Kermit gonna try to win this foot race. He just doesn't have it. Frankly, he never had it. He never had his car. He never had the puck. Circling back. Flyer Kungan loses it to Potsloff. He'll send it down low into the corner. Another big stretch pass. And rightfully waiting for a little bit of help to arrive, but he elects to dump the puck in. There's 20 seconds to go on this power play effort. ZSC, great work there. Tony drives into the attacking zone. And we are back to 5-on-5. Kermit wins it again. And a flying poke check of his own by Kappa.
Oh, so close to getting around to the backhand there, but Kappa making the right move again and coming out to challenge him. Takes it away. Big shot from Potsloff there. Looked like it was kicked aside by the defense of Tony there.
Great stop. And a shot just wide glove side. Chich scrambling a little bit. Final 7 seconds of the period. This one to Kappa is the left. And that will do it. So we get to the end of the first period. A goalless affair so far. Primarily due to this phenomenal save. Maybe not this one. You know, maybe not the one that we thought. A good save regardless. Obviously, those in the breakaway really comes to mind.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, both teams kind of shared breakaways, and both goaltenders had tremendous flying poke checks to sort of negate them right there. And Kermit keeps finding himself, in kind of fortuitous positions. Unfortunately, that near breakaway on the penalty kill, he just seemed to not quite have the stamina there, especially with, the way it doesn't refresh, so to speak, when you're on that penalty kill there. And he kind of had to sort of give up on that breakaway opportunity. But he continues to find himself in fortuitous positions with the puck, and you're seeing it right there. ZSC with the advantage, both in shots and time on attack. That was a very good first period. We're seeing these stretches of them be able to sort of get the better of Frölunda, but again, it's that catch-22. The same when a team's playing H-Reds. If you get behind H-Reds, you still have to beat the goaltender. And Kape and Fazer, of course, do the best that the Elite has to offer.
Second period underway. Again, for those that missed it, a 3-0 victory for Frölunda in the first game between these two teams. This is Frölunda's final game of the regular season. Here comes Kermit one more time. Head of steam and a side of the net. Result on that shot. Haldeem throwing one on. Decent looks for ZSC here. The early stages of this period, Flyer Kungan holds on to it. Thought he was going to draw the trip. For two people to knock him off the puck. I feel like that's often the case.
Yeah.
Potsloff trying to help get that one back into the attacking zone. Snus has it. Delayed offside call. ZSC forced to retreat. Just momentarily. Job there on the poke check. Loose puck again recovered by Kermit. Goes to Snus on the other side. Miscommunication at the line. And it's offside.
Yeah, he didn't want to try to risk squeezing that one through to Dangle Duout, and Dangle Duout obviously thought he was going to get that one through. Not a bad look for the cross-ice pass, but yeah, just a little bit of a miscue there and forced to take the neutral zone draw.
ZSC will look to reset. See what they can do. Snus does gain the line, and fortunately that pass off the mark. And they'll try to get things set up. Loimu pokes it away. Flyer Kungan for Playmaker. Loimu again shovels one on. Eki for Loimu. That shot doesn't go. Second chance and a kick save. Playmaker and just held by Chich. Another close call with Playmaker hanging around the goal.
Yeah, almost innocent looking, but it's never innocent when Playmaker has it down low like that. Just kind of came out from behind the net and tried to slide that one around or through Chich right there, and didn't look like much, but you know that Chich's heart rate increased substantially during that moment.
Trying to find their way into the attacking zone. Frölunda really putting the clamps on around the blue line right now. Again, having to be a little bit creative, but miscommunications.
Yeah, and this is, I think, maybe a little bit of antsiness coming out from ZSC, trying to find that goal, find ways into the zone to even be able to get to those chances right there. And yeah, you said it, having to get extra creative, because Frölunda here in this period has really kind of put the clamps down on that blue line. It's been so difficult for ZSC to be able to gain that line. They do here.
Kermit trying to hold on to it. Tangadoo out there to help. Nearly took it away. Kermit has it. Again behind the goal. Good movement here for ZSC. Haldane. Quick give and goes. See what they can do. They wanted the play in front. Frölunda able to defend. It's Eki. His pass intercepted. Knocked loose. Trouble here perhaps. Fire Kungan can't get that shot up. Over the line, Kermit a little bit of space, wanted that kick. Again, a pass just off the mark for ZSC.
Yeah, it's unfortunately a mistake they can't really afford to have right here. Those self-inflicted wounds that force them to exit the zone.
Kermit trying to drop back. And it's a little bit surprising to see their passing a bit worse for wear here. And especially, too, I mean, you know, it is the elephant in the room, obviously. ZSC, always with that slight server edge compared to what some of these teams are used to being against. You know, obviously, so many of them in close proximity between Sweden and Finland. Playing on, you know, connections that make everybody in North America jealous. So you have a slight change to that, something that's still twice as good as, say, if you and I were to just play games together. So normally, you know, you would expect to see the passing, in theory, be that much better for CSC, but it's just not working out for them right now.
Yeah, and I think it's hard to kind of go from one ping to another in that kind of, you know, short. So they got used to the ping in the first game, and now they have, even if they have better ping, maybe their fingers are still kind of trying to adjust to how they need to pass. Once again, I don't think it's easy really for anyone with those differentials and things like that. But nonetheless, yeah, it's right now, it's just their passing isn't on point. They have to find a way to clean it up no matter what.
Got a few seconds here of the period. Loose puck into the corner. Haldane handles it well. Dangled you out. Risky pass. Turns it over. Flyer Kungan shot denied. Haldane recovers. And we will make it to the third period. Still a goalless contest. Good look at some of the physical play here from Kermit. I don't know if it'll highlight his tape-to-tape passing again like it did in the prior game. Instead, it's the elite edges on display. As we go to the third period, still without a goal.
Yeah, and I guess that's still kind of, in some way, best case scenario for ZSC. They're still doing a pretty good job of limiting Frölunda in a lot of ways, and just being able to limit some of the chances that Frölunda's able to get, but they're still looking for that goal, still looking for a way to beat Kape here. And again, I think it's the self-inflicted wounds are simply not helping. You know, the passes that they're trying to make that go out of the zone, or the errant ones in the neutral zone, which have forced them to reset, and it's going to be, you know, gives more time for Frölunda to be able to set up their trap the way they do in that neutral zone here. So again, if ZSC can clean up some of these mistakes, keep throwing those shots and shots on Kape and get some of the chances that they have gotten, I definitely can see them getting a goal here. But it's just, you know, at the same time, you have Frölunda, who They're not going to want to get shut out either.
We march on here, the early stages of this third period, and a penalty is called. ZSC going to the power play.
Yeah, that was Eki down low taking a relatively rare penalty right there. Just trying to stay in on the forecheck. You could see him a little bit of a pause after he took it. A little annoyed with himself right there, but he'll sit for 2, and we'll see the ZSC power play going to work here again. They're not a strong special teams team, the 14th ranked power play, but we'll see what they can do on this one.
And they score instantly. I dangled you out. Finds the back of the net for his 16th of the year, and ZSC take the lead.
I mean, that's about as instantaneous as you can get. Set play off the draw, the tie-up, the man comes in to take the puck right there, and that's Kermit, and slides it over to dangle you out through the defense in the back of the net, and just like that, power play goal for ZSC, and a 1-0 lead to boot.
I mean, you mentioned Frölunda not wanting to get shut out. I mean, easier said than done, of course. I don't believe they've been shut out all season long, and they won't be shut out today. We are tied. Goal apiece. Less than 2 minutes into the period. Does that jinx belong to me or to you? Because you're the one that mentioned it, and I tried to find the research.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just enjoying how I said, here's a must-score situation. They score, and then you start talking about they're not going to want to get shut out, or building upon that point, and they immediately score off a beautiful deflection from Eki in front. And tie game here, right back to square one.
So the power play goal for ZSC nullified rather quickly, to say the least. The boys in the game, trust me, we would shut up if it wasn't our job to talk. As a penalty is called, Frölunda will get a chance on the power play themselves, as it is going to be Kermit taking a seat here for that trip.
Yeah, so here's an opportunity for Frölunda, a quick 2-goal swing right here on the power play. Again, ZSC killed the first one off, but you keep giving this kind of team opportunities, they will make you pay, and we know Frölunda's going to be looking to do that right here. They're probably not happy with a bit of a scare.
And a good save there. Eki on the doorstep. Remember that save.
Yeah, definitely good save right there from Chich on that short side. That could have easily been the difference maker here so far, but they're far from out of the woods yet.
Again, possession off the draw. Playmaker has that one poked away. Eki again wanted to go to the backhand. He hit the side of the goal on the eventual attempt. Player Kungan trying to drive to that prime real estate. What a keep by Potzloff. Interception by Haldeem, and they do finally send that all the way down.
Yeah, it was an excellent keep in by Potzloff, not only getting the intercept, but positioning his stick correctly while he's skating the wrong way to keep it in.
Playmaker has this one. Finds Eki, one-timer blocked by the man in front. Final few seconds of this man advantage. Playmaker. Chich is able to find that one after it was intercepted by his teammate.
So they survive the power play once again, but Frölunda with a little bit of momentum here and being able to stifle them in their own zone. If they could win this faceoff, compound some of that, could get dangerous very quickly for ZSC here. This faceoff's important.
Off the tie-up, it will be ZSC in control. Missed the shot, loose puck. Playmaker there to recover. And in case you missed it, goal for each side in the first 2 minutes of this third period, and a trip there. Frölunda will go back to the power play. They're going to bide time for the extra attacker to come out, but fortunately their playmaker runs out of space. It will be another power play opportunity here.
Yeah, and a little bit of a reckless poke coming out right there from Tony, perhaps, and just trying to maybe make something happen right there, jumping up into the play, trying to force a turnover, but now he's going to sit for 2, and Frölunda with yet another power play here, and they're looking for the third time's the charm, and they look dangerous on that last one.
One-timer, and they score! Equally deadly is the power play of Frölunda. Playmaker top shelf. And Frölunda grabbed the lead. It's 2-1.
Just a quick set play, pretty identical in the way it's set up, but the finish a little bit different there. Playmaker higher up in the zone gets a big blast of a one-timer from that OV location, buries it, and Frölunda have taken the lead now, 2-1.
Both teams with a power play goal in this one. Off of set plays directly on the faceoff. Eki wanted that wrapper. Excuse me, Flyer Coogan wanted that wraparound. Loimu's shot goes wide. Eki recovering at the point. Knocked loose for the moment. Second chance. Chich able to make the save.
Just kind of throwing that one out there, looking for a rebound right here. But at this point, with the lead, Frölunda very happy with all the offensive time that they can get. It just prevents ZSC from being able to get chances of their own here. And we've seen slowly but surely Frölunda take control of this game, whereas ZSC had some points in it where they kind of looked like they were slightly in control, or at least getting the better of the chances. Right now, they're just completely under siege.
8.5 minutes to play here in regulation, and another penalty coming up against ZSC. Being aggressive and trying to force the issue, but at the same time, just not being careful enough with these opportunities. It will be a snooze back to the box again there. Well, it looked like a hook.
Yeah, and that's the urgency kind of turning into a bit of desperation here. And you know, you're only down by one, but at the same time, you're down by one against Frölunda, and yeah, that's kind of what it comes down to here. They're really just trying to get that puck back, and they're feeling the pressure here, and at this point, it's getting them into penalty trouble.
What a play! Flyer Kungen's blasted just wide on that glove side.
I mean, that was just a beautiful passing play right there. Shot just went right. Could have easily kind of been the nail in the coffin there. 3-1 with another power play goal.
Eki around the back. Loses it to Haldane. Played up for Tony. Big hit there. Kermit gets dropped as well. Great physicality from Frölunda. The playmaker elects to do. He goes to Loima. Has Potzloff. One-timer! It scores! Looked like it may have been deflected. But Potzloff gets the goal. That'll likely seal this one, Sin.
Yeah, it absolutely hit a body in front, which slowed it down. I think he was still aiming for that far side, so he still had a chance to beat Chich right there. But yeah, that deflection turned the fastball into a changeup on its way towards the net, and really no chance for Chich to be able to make that save. 3-1 for Frölunda, and I think you may be right. That may be the icing on the cake for this one here, is CSC just haven't been able to generate enough offense against Frölunda.
5 minutes to go. It went from a 1-0 lead for ZSC with a rapid power play goal. Unfortunately, getting into penalty trouble as this period has continued onward. And as a result, here we are. Now a playmaker a step, goes short side, stopped by Chich with 3:06 to go here in the third period, and a 2-goal lead for Frölunda.
Yeah, and just at this point, ZSC looking for any little bit of help, but Frölunda just continues to find their way into the offensive zone, or just killing that clock.
Still in the attacking zone. Playmaker wanted that short side bid. Wrap around Eki, a swing, but Chich makes the save. Space here for Dangledew out now. Great back pressure there by Potzloff to take it away. Dangledew out, another interesting attempt, just doesn't go. Throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks, but Frölunda have been the better of the two teams today. Strong effort from ZSC, but unfortunate for them. Looks like it's going to be a night with no points, and really puts them into a rough situation now in terms of their playoff aspirations. Goes back to Haldane. And they score! Interesting feed to Original Snus. He throws a backhand on. That finds its way past Kape, and just like that, it is a 1-goal game with 29 seconds to go.
I mean, yeah, this is the chance they've got within one. They have time. They're taking their time out, but you can see just how much Frölunda has taken control in the latter half of this game. Remember the time when ZSC was winning the possession in the shot battle? Well, that time has long gone here as Frölunda has just taken absolute control. Obviously, power plays have a bit to do with it as well, but just very good performance by them down the stretch to kind of take the reins back in their hand away from ZSC. But with this goal, it gives ZSC that fighting chance to perhaps tie this one up late here. 30 seconds to do so. Now's the time where they got to throw everything that they have at the wall, whatever kind of plays or whatever kind of passing plays, zone entries, whatever they have that they can pull out of their back pockets. It's time.
11th goal of the season for Snus, and here we go. Does ZSC have enough time? Kermit's shot, loose puck in front, just wide. Here comes the pinch. Eki, big stretch pass to Flyer Kungan, 15 seconds. Goes around the back for Playmaker. They're going to try to keep this one low in the attacking zone. Eki can't hold it. Empty net coming up. They're not going to have time to fully pull the goalie. Kermit couldn't get the shot off. And Frölunda will survive. A bit of a scare. A 5-goal third period combined with Frölunda winning 3-2 and securing their 4th point on the night in what was their final regular season game.
And the game really started to open up there, had a bit of everything, power plays, rushes, breakaways, and stuff. But it wasn't until the third period where we found all of those goals. And it was just a good job by Frölunda, just kind of sticking with it, weathering that early storm of ZSC with the pushback that they were going to bring, keeping that game scoreless until, they're really able to start capitalizing here. Good job of fighting back from ZSC, but again, penalties kind of doomed them. 2 power play goals allowed. They came into the day with the worst penalty kill, and they took 4 penalties against the team who's not only with a pretty solid power play, but one of the best teams in the ECL Elite. And that's something that you just can't do and still hope to win that game here. So we're seeing kind of what happens there in that scenario. So ZSC, unfortunately for them, not able to get a point in this matchup. Their last matchup of the season is going to be oh so important to keep themselves out of that relegation spot, or where they have to fight for a relegation play a relegation series, so to speak, and just be able to come back next season in the Elite fresh and ready to go and make another playoff push.
Absolutely. As we get a look here, this was the opening goal of that third period, just seconds in, really, on the power play. 1 minute and 2 seconds, to be exact, was the timestamp there, but this was just moments later as a deflection in front. Who else would it be? But Eki getting a piece of that, and it's just going over the glove. I mean, picture perfect deflection.
It absolutely is. Shot on the ice and then going top corner after the deflection. Just a beautiful job. And this was kind of the response set play from Frölunda on that power play. Just that's about as a basic of a set play that goes back all the way to well, I'd even say 360 Genovex puck to tie up in that one timer. Like it goes all the way back.
That's an NHL 09 play.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and you're seeing that kind of a deflection goes off of the stick of the defenseman. I believe that would have been Haldim right there as he tried to get over into the lane, gets off his stick and gets past kind of the glove side of Chich there. And actually looked like on that play, they're trying to feed, perhaps dangled you out. And you could see kind of a stutter step from Kape there in the net as he thought, maybe had to adjust to the one timer, then tried to adjust back into the middle for Original Snus, who was able to sneak that backhand pass that gave them a little bit of hope there at the dying moments of the third period. But Frölunda kind of snuffed that out quickly with being able to get that puck in their zone and killing some time down low. And there just simply wasn't enough time on the clock for ZSC to get that tying marker.
So with that, everybody, again, we will throw it to a brief intermission. We will be back, our second series of this broadcast. It is the Fountain Coal Miners taking on Stargazing, what is a very important matchup for the sake of our current relegation spots. We'll have more on that for you, again, on the opposite side of this break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.